oh my gosh, that's only giving you about 60% chance for this card to be live. You're actively choking yourself. Hello, mathematicians. We're going to master this deck right here, right now. But here's the thing. This deck, Regenesis, demands perfect deck building. And what do I mean by that? Well, let's take a look at its stats and statistics right now. It's got a number of stats, and this is how I rate it. Its difficulty is probably one of the hardest decks to build, but with this video, I promise you're going to learn something. Even if you don't play Regenesis, you're going to learn something by watching this video about deck building, math, and ratios. I promise you. We're going to talk about going first. It's got a really strong spot at 85 out of 100. It's going second, needs a little bit of work, but there are cards to help us. We get about a 75 there. It's not really good at baiting. It's pretty telegraphed, so just a 70. So what gives? What's the point of this deck, Jesse? Why are you even showing me this? Because its recovery and grind is insane. I've never seen a card this good at just grinding it out, going blow for blow, making a slobber knocker of a match. In fact, take a look at this graph right here. Normally I do math with like very hard stats and statistics, but I got a very simple graph for you right here. Look how good this deck is right here. The number of turns, as you can see, the more turns that it is, your chance of victory goes up, because all of these Regenesis cards, well, not all of them, but I want to say a vast majority of the good cards will come back to your hand and keep coming over and over and over. And on top of that, take a look at this one trap card here. If you don't know anything about Regenesis, this trap card is probably one of the most insane traps I've ever seen in my life. They've got something insane. Let's take a look at this Regenesis Birth here. Look at this. Send a monster, Regenesis monster, from your deck to the graveyard. Okay. This is, by the way, is the cost. So they can't even stop this, even if they wanted to like negate it. Then target one face-up monster your opponent controls. So again, that's just the cost. You can send a Regenesis monster from your deck to the graveyard. And mind you, by the way, if you do this in your opponent's turn, your monsters will come back. We'll get more into that in a second. Change it to face-down defense position. A nice little stop there. So good against XZ's decks, Synchro decks, and Link's deck. So nice little spot thing there. But how about this effect? During your opponent's turn, you can send this card to the graveyard, special summon as many Regenesis monsters as possible with different names from your hand, graveyard, or banishment, but send them to the graveyard during the end phase. Mind you, that's not going to be a detriment, and we're going to realize why that's actually pretty awesome. You can only use one effect per turn and only one stat turn. So that's the only bad thing about this thing, keeping it down. But let's start getting into the card by cards here. Look at this. So these right here, we're going to start with the searchers here. We've got Archfiend, Regenesis, and Regenesis Code. A deck has 3 searchers. That's very powerful for search, consistency. That is great, but there are weaknesses to all of these cards, by the way. And you might be like, weaknesses? What are you talking about? Because they won't just search manually. The only card that will just search regularly is just this Regenesis. Take a Regenesis, add it to your hand or graveyard, or send it to the graveyard. And if you control a Regenesis monster, you can add a monster with 25 attack or defense from your deck to your hand instead. Usually I never really use that, but that's actually good to know for the future. If this card is in your graveyard, except the turn it was sent there, you can banish it. And then it's got a little bonus effect to target a Regenesis monster in your graveyard, special summon it. You can only use each effect of Regenesis once per turn. So this is a really great card. But these 2 cards right here come with restrictions, and a lot of Regenesis players mess this up badly. And we're going to go into it right now. Regenesis Archfiend is a searcher, but here's the thing. It requires something. It requires you could special summon this card from your hand. You have to reveal another monster with 2,500 attack or defense in your hand. And a lot of people mess that up with mathematically. We'll go back to that in a second. I have a cool graph for that to show you. But anyways, just know this is the searcher for now. And then if this card is normal special summon, so you can add a Regenesis card from your deck or banishment to your hand. That's cool. It adds it from banishment. Except Archfiend, during your opponent's end phase, this is what I'm talking about, all the Regenesis monsters, main deck guys, pretty much do this except for the bosses. If it's in the graveyard because it was sent there, add it to your hand. That's so good. That's what I'm talking about. It has an insane grind game. And with the 2,500 attack and defense, very good. Now, Regenesis Code special summons a monster from your deck. It's like an emergency teleport, but the detriment is it locks you out of the extra deck. So look at this. Special summon a monster from your deck. Send it to your graveyard during the opponent's end phase. Remember, that's not a problem because you'll get it right back until the end of the next turn. So it's a 2-turn lock, your turn and your opponent's turn, or your opponent's turn and your turn. You cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck. A lot of people forget about this, and you'll see why. During your main phase, this card is in your graveyard, except during your main phase, if this card is in your graveyard, except the turn it was sent there, you could banish it, target a banished Regenesis monster, special summon it. So that's pretty cool too, because you will get banished Regenesis monsters because a couple cards do that. But anyways, so talking about Regenesis Archfiend, so good. You'll need to have another monster with 2,500 attack and defense in your hand. But here's something what's crazy. This is a searcher, but how about a searcher for the searcher, right? And you could run a number of these. All of these cards will search that Archfiend card I just showed you with just certain conditions. For example, if this card sent from the field to the graveyard, add a level 8 Fiend monster from your deck to your hand, which Archfiend is. So you could just link him off, right? Or you could play Tour Guide of the Underworld and then do a little combo like that. Just make sure the math is right, and I'll show you the math on the next slide. This card right here, if it's sent to the graveyard because of a card effect, you could Foolish Burial this guy, or this little girl, I should say, and you could search Archfiend that way. Dark Spirit's Mastery. Or you can even like fuse it with something, or if it gets sent through like a tier effect. There's a lot of cool ways to send this to the graveyard. Branded Fusion, Dark Spirit's Mastery, discard a card. That's a little unfortunate to discard a card. We usually want to keep our 2-card combos, but add a level 8 Fiend monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Pretty cool. Also, these 2 cards right here both add Lava Golem, which is a great supplementary card, but we'll get more into that later. Let's talk strictly about the math and the big mistake that a lot of people make. Now, this is actually a 2-card combo, right? Because you need to have a Regenesis Archfiend in your hand, and you need to have a monster with 2,500 attack or defense and reveal it. So it's a 2-card combo. So I did a video on 2-card combo math when I talked about the draw engines, where I talked about Allure of Darkness and all of that stuff. And anyways, we want to be right here, basically. You want to have about an 80 to 90% consistency, which means you need to be playing about 13 to 17 cards in your deck so you don't break, because a lot of times people will be playing this card and I look at their deck list and they're only playing like 8 cards that match this guy's requirement, and it's like, oh my gosh, that's only giving you about 60% chance for this card to be live. You're actively choking yourself and shooting yourself in the foot by doing this. You're strangling your own deck. You're making your deck brick so much Mario is en route to your location because you got a lot of coins in your deck, because that's how many bricks there are. And I say that all the time because people don't realize that this is a 2-card combo deck, and you need to reveal a card. Anyways, let's otherwise you're gonna be in a bad place. Anyways, let's take a look at this right here. Let's take a look at what the monsters do. These are some of the other monsters. This guy is good for getting rid of monsters, and this guy's good for getting rid of spells. They both have the same start, so I'm only gonna read it once. If a monster with 2,500 original attack is on the field, right? They both say the same thing. Special summon this guy from your hand. You can only special summon these 2 cards once per turn this way. And now here's where they differentiate. They both have quick effects, and you tribute them. You could tribute this guy, target a monster your opponent controls, return it to the hand. During your opponent's end phase, if this card's in the graveyard, you bring it back to the hand. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Regenesis Warrior is nuts. Again, giving you a lot of advantage on your opponent's turn. You can't beat that. That's what I'm saying. Their grind is insane. I've never seen so much grinding. Even if you go to a club, you won't see that much grinding. This deck has more grinding than the best club in the United States. Anyways, let's see what this one does. Tribute this card, target a spell and trap, and your opponent controls, banish it. Great. So that's great at getting rid of continuous effects or field spells before they can activate, or when they try to activate, you can stop them there in their tracks. Very good card for that. Or even just getting rid of like face down stuff right when they set it in a trap. Very good card during your opponent's end phase. Same thing. Card comes back. It's a grind master. Absolutely insane. Now, how about, speaking of insane, look at this. The deck also has another card, Regenesis Sage. It's got the same thing, you're right? If a monster with 25 attack or defense is on the field, special summon this. This is an Omni negate. Look at this. When your opponent activates a card or effect, so if they do anything, if they blow on you, if they wink at you, if they look at you the wrong way, take a look at this. Send our other Regenesis card from your hand or field to the graveyard, and just Regenesis card. Some people think that it has to be Regenesis monsters. No, you can send your Regenesis spells. You could send those. It just needs to be in your hand or face up on the field to the graveyard. You can even send your continuous traps to the graveyard if you want, and you can negate the activation. So there you go, Omni negate. It does negate the activation, not the effect, so just know that. And if you do destroy that, and then during your opponent's end phase, if this guy gets to the graveyard again, adds to your hand. The grind game is absolutely insane in this. That's why the longer you can hold out, the more the chance that Regenesis is just going to take the victory. Let's take a look at this now. Here's something interesting here. This is the boss monster. Absolutely insane boss monster here. This is a searcher too, so this guy has a special summoning condition. You have to banish a face-up monster to special summon this guy from your hand. Banish a monster with 2,500 original attack and defense. Now, everything was just or. This is an and. So you need to just be playing pure Regenesis if you want to use this guy. Special summon this guy, and then if he's special summoned, set a spell or trap that's Regenesis from your deck. Absolutely good, because you could set the Regenesis Searcher and then continue doing stuff that way, right? Okay, your Omni negate, or you could set that deadly trap, which I showed you in the beginning. There's also two other cards that I'm going to talk about really quick. But anyways, this also it gains 2,500 attack during the battle phase, and it does piercing battle damage if the guy's in defense position. So we're getting a 5,000 attack beat stick. That's a lot of damage. Also, there's a second Regenesis card that is not in Master Duel yet, but is in the game. And I wanted to talk about this. This is a board breaker boss. Same thing here. This guy, you banish 2 monsters from your graveyard. You summon this from your graveyard, by the way, with 2,500 attack or defense. This one is an or. You can special summon this person once per turn. So you special summon it from your graveyard. If this card is special summoned, target cards your opponent control field or graveyard up to number of banished monsters with 2,500 attack or defense, return them to your hand. So not only if there's more than just 2 monsters that you banished and they're in the graveyard, you could end up banishing a lot of stuff on the field and graveyard with this. This is an absolutely insane board breaker. Monsters your opponent controls lose 2,500 attack during the battle phase only. So if you can get these 2 out together, that's an insane combo, because they're all going to be weak and you can just punch and dunch. But anyways, my problem with that is will remain to be seen, which I'll show you later. But take a look at these 2 cards here. I want to talk about. Wait, we gotta get a cool animation. I gotta come in smooth like butter. Anyways, there we go. Take a look at these 2 cards. These 2 cards do not see much play, if at all. But I have seen certain deck lists. You have to be very careful when tweaking, where you could run these at 1 where it works. There's a guy in Discord. His name is Slayton. He used the Regenesis cycle. He uses that 1, and he said he likes the way he used it. I tried it using it at 1, and it did save me. So I have a really cool replay of that. This card does come in effect. But let's take a look at what it does before I talk about it too much. If you control a monster with 2,500 attack or defense, target a card your opponent controls. You can target 2. If you control Regenesis Lord, banish those cards. Pretty cool. And then it's got a graveyard effect where if it's in your graveyard, except the turn it was sent there, banishes, special summon a monster with 2,500 attack or defense from your hand. Pretty cool. I didn't think that's going to come up that much, but you know what? It does have its effects. It does have its effects. It's a really interesting board breaker. It's really good. It's really good. And I haven't been using it, and a lot of other people have been using it, but I tried it at 1, and I did kind of like it. It did kind of help. But you have to play in a lot of decks that draw you cards where it can be a supplementary card. You have to be very careful with using this. This card is probably really hard to use because this is like a win more. You have to get like all these conditions going. The other trap is better. So when you're going to want this guy is maybe, which I found out is, and I've been using it at 1 in mill decks. I'm just going to leave its effect here. The Regenesis commandments apply this into all cards your opponent's controls in the same column as your Regenesis monsters. Now, you can negate their effects with the face-up cards, face-down monsters that can't change their battle positions, and face-down spell and trap can't be activated till the next turn. So pretty good effect. I think if you can get this in the graveyard, actually, which I'm going to show you, with transaction rollback, do something cool like that, that's where it might have a use. But anyways, I don't think really you should use those cards. How about, let's talk about techs. When we talk about techs, this is probably the best tech card, in my opinion, for Regenesis. This, if you don't know what it does, you send a monster from your extra deck to the graveyard and add a Dogmatika or Albaz from your deck. And then you can't special summon monsters after you do that. But again, you won't be doing that much. So what you're going to do is send Garura to the graveyard, which if this guy goes to the graveyard, just draw a card. That's what it basically says, draw a card. So already this pays for itself right there. Now we're just locked into the extra deck. Does get your Maximus right here. Now if you get your Maximus, I love Maximus, probably one of my favorite cards. What you're gonna do now is banish this card that you just sent, and you can special summon this guy, and now you can send 2 more monsters from your extra deck to the graveyard. And what are we gonna do with that, Jesse? Well, we got now something very interesting. You could send this card right here, Titanclad, the Ash Dragon, which at the end of your turn, you'll be able to special summon a Dogmatika monster from your deck. Very interesting. And also you get to send an additional monster from your extra deck. So I would either say Wind Pegasus for protection if you know you're going against Ryzeal or something, or Gangrenol for even more further disruption, because then you could special summon a Lulu Lilith or something. But anyways, you're going to send Titanclad. What you're going to do is at the end of your turn, you're going to special summon Dogmatika Ecclesia, which is going to add Fleur de Lis to your hand, which is another interruption. So from one thing that pays for itself, not only did you get another monster, but you also got this, like, a lot of stuff going on, like 2 negates set up, the Gangrenol in your graveyard. Your graveyard is set up for a lot of stuff. Very, very good. Just keep in mind, again, Nadir Servant and Regenesis Code will both lock you out of special summoning from the extra deck. And speaking of locking you from the extra deck, if you wanted to, another route you could take is use the Dogmatika Punishment route. What this card does too, if you wanted to not go and get the Fleur de Lis or something, you could have just, or if you don't like going Maximus, just grab Ecclesia, normal summon it, and then what you do is you just use Dogmatika Punishment or search Dogmatika Punishment. Again, now you can't use the extra deck, but what you could do is you could send a card from your graveyard during your opponent's turn. You're going to want to do this because you can send a card, again, extra deck, to the graveyard, and these are the 3 ones I would recommend. Don't even need to show you their effects, because when that guy goes to the graveyard, it pops a card. When this one goes to the graveyard, it will negate a card, and when this card goes to the graveyard, it will revert a card from the face up from the deck to the hand. So again, all these target though, but they all have different effects. Sometimes you don't want to pop a card. Sometimes you just want to negate it. Sometimes you just want to go back to the extra deck. So I think you play one of these each. All very good, all very strong. Or if your opponent's not really doing anything and you got some like utility you can do, use both of these as well. Kalos, when it's sent to the graveyard, mills 5. And if you remember, all the cards that you mill that are Regenesis monsters come back to your hand and give you that grind game. Oh man, absolutely deadly. Or if you don't want to, go to the casino or whatever and gamble, which is a little bit of gambling, I will always do this. But if you want to play it safe, you could send Tri-Brigade Arms, because this draw 1. You're like, how does it draw 1? Well, it sends a winged beast to the graveyard. And again, Garura is a winged beast. So if you do play this, play another copy of Garura. Play 2 copies of Garura, because you can send Garura and draw 1. So very, very good utility. Speaking of stuff in the graveyard, I want to show you some cards that will instantly win you the game if you go first as well. Now, we got 3 traps here. If you are playing that mill deck, you mill this card to the graveyard, it will be able to set itself. This is an Omni negate. Basically, if your opponent breathes and does anything and you control a monster with 2500 attack or defense, negate and destroy it. Very good. And then if it's in the graveyard, just set it again. Very good with that tier combo, like I just said. Or it works with, there can only be 1 in skill drain. If you know you're going first, again, I think these cards can win you on the spot. But in Master Duel, I still think you could play these at 1, because they're just so powerful that I normally don't like stun cards, but those I would recommend. The Bystials are really strong. I only recommend that you play Magnuma and Druid Swarm here. Do not play Bystial Lubellion. Don't play Bystial Lubellion. Do not play Bystial Lubellion. You might be like, Jesse, what are you talking about? Why? Because, okay, there is a very small exception if you're playing a very heavy light and dark combo, but just know that all the Regenesis monsters are not light and dark. So you won't be able to get your own cards. So if you do this stuff, you're probably going to have to banish your own Bystial Lubellion, which means you can't get the Bystial cards, which means, let's go here further. Let's take a look at this, right? A lot of people are using the Bystial cards, with Lubellion especially. In fact, about 25% of Regenesis players are at least using 1 copy, and 50% of players are using the branded Regained. Now, let's just use this Master 1 player as an example of why you shouldn't use the Bystial. Because, again, let's say you go first. You send this card to the graveyard, right? Now, you'll get one of your Bystials, And what's going to happen is you need a light and dark in your graveyard to banish. None of these cards will be able to get to the graveyard because they're not light and dark. You won't be able to get Ecclesia to the graveyard either, because if you searched it off of Nadir Servant, now you can't go into the extra deck. So all of your cards cannot be searched here, like or is light and dark that's going to be able to go to the graveyard. He's not playing anything that's going to drop anything to the graveyard. So this is useless in getting this branded banishment. It's not going to be able, the branded regain. I'm sorry, you're not going to be able to search this. So you're going to have to hard draw it, and it could just be a wasted card going second. It could be a wasted slot. Like, so it's good if you just get this card going first. If you want to just not play this and just play this, that's probably even better, honestly. Don't play this, just play these two. By the way, even worse is the people that play Baldrake, because Baldrake requires another light and dark monster to send. Again, the math isn't here. He's got about 7 cards that are light and dark that might get on the field, right? Even if you include the searchers and stuff like that. I ask you this, would you play Allure of Darkness if you only had 7 targets? The same thing here. Bystial Baldrake is being used at 2 in this guy's deck, and he doesn't even have that many targets. Now, he got the Master 1, but it's just showing, like, look at the conflictions here. By the way, he is playing Super Poly, which will also conflict with these 2 Regenesis cards, by the way, because remember, they lock you out of the extra deck on both sides. So just very interesting to note that some of these cards will trip you up if they're used against each other, but he did get the Master 1. So I want to show you guys again. Branded Regain, using this in Regenesis, very good. This card is absolutely phenomenal against Malice, which is why it's probably used so much. But maybe when Malice falls out of favor, I have a better card for you guys to use, and that is actually Pinpoint Landing. What does Pinpoint Landing do? If a monster is special summoned from the hand or field, draw a card. And you can only use this effect of this once per turn during your end phase. If you haven't drawn a card by this, send it to the graveyard. You might be like, Jesse, that's not as good as Branded. And what are you talking about? Actually, there's some hidden bonuses to this card where an amateur person won't see it to the naked eye. But I'm going to tell you something very hidden about this card of why it's so good. So let's say you also have the Bystial cards, right? And you're playing this. Again, this will draw you a card for on your opponent's turn with the Bystials, as well as drawing you a card when you special summon any of your Regenesis monsters from your hand. So you get 1 card on your turn, 1 card on your opponent's turn. Nice. You might be like, okay, sure, you get an extra card, Jesse. That's still not that good. What's the point? Here's the point. Here's the point. And this is what a lot of people don't get. This card chain blocks, and that's the main thing that you need to do with Regenesis. So let's take a look. Let's back it up again. And let's say you have Archfiend in your hand that you really need his search effect to go off. Because everybody, this is the main card to block, by the way, because it stops like the whole Regenesis combo. If this card gets stopped, then a lot of people just run the Regenesis monsters at like 1 copy, which I also think might be a mistake. We'll look at the math with that later. But they'll run the other Regenesis monsters at just 1. But then if you stop this, you really don't got nothing going unless you hard drew the spells, right? So what you do is you play Pinpoint Landing, then you show your card. You know, if make sure you have to make your math right. Well, again, you have to be playing a lot of cards, but you show your matching card. You only play Pinpoint Landing at 1, by the way. Show your opponent the matching card. Special summon this guy. Chain link 1 Archfiend. Chain link 2 Pinpoint Landing. So what that does is now they can't Ash your Archfiend. They cannot Ash your Archfiend, which remember, Ash right now is being used at over 90% usage rate. So they cannot Ash your Archfiend. Also, if they try to droll, they have to wait for you to get 2 cards now. So this also, in a way, counters droll, which is going to be annoying for the droll players because you'll be able to search the card you want and draw cards, so you get the still benefit there. The doubled get, and by the way, you get to, since it resolves in reverse order, you get to get your draw first. So which is interesting is you might get the card that you wanted to search for with this draw, and now you can search the second best option. So again, that, because it chain blocks and the way it resolves, has these minute things that really add up. By the way, I did do a video on like really good draw cards that are underrated, and Pinpoint Landing is definitely one of them, especially with Regenesis Archfiend. Just run it at 1 though, because it's really good. That's another good tech. Here's another good tech that a lot of people are running. I personally don't like this tech personally, but I think it's really good, especially if it resolves the right way. But the thing is, I'm always a guy with consistency. I'll take a deck that instead of like that, if it works right, you know what I'm saying? Like you either brick or you get a really good starting hand. I'd rather take a deck that's just slightly more in the middle, and I want like consistent good hands all the time. Because what's gonna happen if you're playing the Kashtira package, which you play 2 of these, 1 of these, 1 of these, and 1 of these, which is everyone's playing. At least the majority of people that are using the Kashtira package are playing like this. If you just draw a birth and you don't have like any of the level 7 Regenesis monsters, it's a brick. Or Fenrir doesn't have the magic number, so it could be a brick if you just draw it, because then now you got to get unicorn, and then unicorn's just dead in your hand. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of ways this can be a brick, where Fenrir can end up being a brick. It's just or even birth can be a brick here. So if you want to play it, I think it's good, because these 3 cards right here are really good. But then again, if you end up drawing like 2 of them, now you can't see it and stuff. Or if you even get 2 of these, you can end up one of them could just be a dead card in your hand. But it still is very powerful, especially because birth will permanently send stuff face down. So it's very strong, but also has its risk versus rewards. How about something golden? If you want to just be more consistent, how about this? I recommend you run 1 of these and 1 of these. Just a nice 1-2 punch. What this does is it gets the Eldlich card. Eldlich, by the way, is very good, has a very good effect. Send a card. Everyone knows what Eldlich does. It's a very old card, but if you don't know, send this card and a spell and trap from your hand to the graveyard. Target a card on the field, send it to the graveyard. Very nice. And if it's in your graveyard, again, Eldlich was also the initial grinder, right? He keeps coming back too. You can send a spell and trap. You control the graveyard. Add this card to your hand. You can do that whenever you want. Special summon a zombie from your hand, and then it gains 1,000 attack. And now here's the thing. All the Regenesis cards only care about the original attack. It does not matter that Eldlich gains 1,000 attack and changes the number to 3,500. The Regenesis card will still be able to special summon themselves if he's on the field. Delta of Invitation, by the way, also has an infinite grind. If you have this and Eldlich, it has infinite grind. It just send Eldlich to the graveyard, basically. And then it also gives you a little level 5 token in defense mode if you want, which is nice. You could go into like weird stuff with that. You can do a lot of stuff with that. I'm not even gonna tell you some crazy stuff I've seen that I've done with that card. But anyways, this basically is an infinite grind loop. And I recommend just playing it at 1-1. But some people think that it's so strong that they like to play 2 Eldliches and you play 3 Delta of Invitations. If you got space in your deck, you can do that and set your grind up. But again, just playing it at 1-1 is perfect. Play the Druid Swarm at 1. Play the Bystial Magnuma at 1. Put in all of these consistent cards in your deck instead of like running on these big packages. Just pull the little cards that consistently can gain you cards. Really, really good. Anyways, we really need the deck to blossom. And what do we need for that? We need to play the pot cards. Now, I would only recommend playing 1 pot. Pick your favorite pot and play it. Pot of Prosperity is the best pot to play for this deck. Unfortunately, it is banned in Master Duel. So pick whatever pot you want to pay here that you like better. I personally play Pot of Desires because I don't like that I have to use something in the start of the main phase, and then I do use my extra deck with the Nadir stuff. So I like certain cards being in my extra deck. So even though I don't go into the extra deck, I still like certain things getting sent. So I play Pot of Desires, and I play all the cards at 2, the Regenesis monsters, and it's very, very strong. And because it's a 2-card combo deck, it's very important. I recommend you play the Pot of Desires and play it at 1. Just play 1 copy. Again, we're trying to maximize consistency here. There's another way you can play the deck that has really good tech cards, which it takes advantage of all of the ways we can go second or send the cards to the graveyard. Remember, every card, the longer this duel lasts, the better our win percentage. And Rise to Full Height and the Spiritual Swords of Revealing Light are insane in the graveyard because they guarantee you, as long as you have a monster with Rise to Full Height on the field, guarantees you another turn. And the effect goes off. So how do we get those to the graveyard? You can do Absolute King Backjack. Just sends these to the graveyard, right? Or it could set Rise to Full Height. It could do a lot of cool stuff. This only cares about getting sent to the graveyard. You just banish it. Your opponent can't attack directly. And what's cool about that is because if they destroy your Regenesis monsters, they're all going to come back. On your opponent's turn, you don't have to play the full tier combo. Just play Havness. just play Havness at 1, and then if your opponent's going off, congratulations, you just sent three cards to the graveyard, and the 3 cards you sent could be any of your Regenesis cards or Regenesis spells. All of these have deadly effects, so basically you mill Regenesis monsters coming back to your hand, you just thinned your deck, and if you did 2 monsters, well, now you just went +1, or if you got like a card like this, you just bought yourself a turn. The Dragon Mind would be able to set itself. Now you got an Omni negate set up, like a lot of good cards. Needlebug Net sends top 5, absolutely insane. And again, Backjack. You might be like, oh, but what if the top 3 cards aren't a spell and trap? It doesn't need to be. With Absolute King Backjack, you send 3 cards to the graveyard, or you look at the top 3, and then during your opponent's turn or whatever, you banish this, activate the top card of your deck. It's normal trap, set it, otherwise send it to the graveyard. Okay, so you could send, if you use 3 monsters, just send a Regenesis monster to the graveyard, and that'll be added to your hand during the next turn. Again, just play Backjack at 1, play this at like 2, play this at maximum, but you can only play it at 1, Master Duel. And these are really good cards. Play this as many as you want. They'll buy you turns. Absolutely insane. That's if you want to play like the Paleozoic, really trying to grind deck. And I'll show you a deck how that works later in this thing. I have a deck for that. Then I'll show you how this works. Here are 2 insane techs here that I think are the best techs you could run. Right here is going insane against Malice. It's got the 2500 stat line here. You could discard a card, which is, remember, this is on your opponent's turn when they special summon a monster. You'll special summon this card, and now your opponent cannot banish cards. And the card you discarded, if it was a Regenesis monster, it's coming right back to your hand. And then Lava Golem, too, has that magic stat line of 2500, and you get rid of 2 monsters. Simple and efficient. A lot of people forget about Chaos Hunter. Take a look at this right here. This guy got to Master 5 with Regenesis, but he was using Lancia at 3 and not even using Chaos Hunter. On top of this, he's playing a 60 card deck, so his math doesn't add up. I'll tell you right now, I'll show you the graph next slide. His math doesn't add up for the amount of Regenesis cards he needs to show. And he forgot to play Chaos Hunter. I typed it in the comments and he did respond, oh yeah, I did forget about this and I just discovered Chaos Hunter. So he did now replace his 3 Lancias with Chaos Hunter. But you can see here, he's playing a 60 card. He's playing the primary engine. His normal card right here doesn't have the 2500 stat line either. But let's go into the graph here. So we saw this was the 40 card deck. This is the 60 card math right here, what you need. So if you're going to play that many cards, to get that 80% number, you're going to need to play 21 to 25 cards with that 25k stat line. Now you could remember, again, Regenesis can count as one of those cards, the Searcher, because it adds a card to your hand. But even with that, he was nowhere near that number. So that's why he was bricking probably. And that's why he was only maybe at Master 5 instead of getting higher to Master 2, Master 1, because his ratios were messed up. He was probably only getting that about 60% of the time, 60 to 70% of the time, and his ratios were messed up. Again, he wasn't even, if he even switched out Chaos Hunter, put Chaos Hunter in there, his odds could have went up by 3 there. So it's very important that when you're playing these 2-card combos with 60 cards in your deck, remember, it's a 59 size deck, because you're going to have the math is going to be, I probably didn't do it, but you're going to have a 4-card hand and 59 cards left in the deck. So that's how the math works with that, because you're going to have the other cards to supplement it. So that's why that might not make sense to you. But statisticians will know what I'm doing there with that. So you got to just, if you don't trust the numbers, it's got to be one of those trust me bro moments. This is the math right here. I will positively guide you in the right direction. And again, you're going to want to have 20 to 25 cards with that stat line, or at least that can search that stat line. All right, let's go to another card people are using, and that's Super Polymerization, used in the majority of decks. I want to say in about 25% of decks are using Super Poly, but here's the thing, I wouldn't recommend it. I tried it out, and I've been using it, and I don't like it because, again, the Dogmatika punishment and code will mess you up and it'll stop you from using it. So code, if you got to use code on your turn, or then you have to hold code, wait till you use Super Poly, then you do use code. And then what happens if you top deck Super Poly next turn? it happens, and it's just not as good as I'd like it to be. Even though Super Poly is a very strong card right now in the meta, I don't think I wouldn't recommend it because you play so many cards. Oh, and Nadir Servant will cut you off. They'll cut you off the extra deck. Now here's what a lot of people are using. Some people are using different archetypes, right? They're playing like Voiceless Voice, Regenesis, Ryzeal, Regenesis, or they're putting in like these little packages, like a Diabellstar package, Illusion of Chaos. You gotta draw a line here and separate the difference between packages, supplements, and archetypes. What do I mean by that? Well, if you're gonna be playing the Voiceless Voice deck and Detonator, and you're jamming all of the Regenesis cards in there, don't do that. Don't do that because, and take out Sage and Archfiend, because Sage needs a Regenesis card either in your hand or on the field. And when you're playing these big packages, you're diluting your deck, and Sage won't be able to go off. The same thing with Archfiend. Remember, the math won't be there. Don't play Archfiend. Just play Regenesis. Play it at 1 or 2. And then play both of these just that one copy. Just sprinkle Regenesis, right? If you're playing these main decks, the goal of these decks is to win on turn 3. The goal of Regenesis is to win on like turn 5, 6, right? So these have to be sprinkled in to support these cards. That's what a lot of people don't do right. They'll stuff the Regenesis in, and now they're playing full Regenesis and then have Voices to sprinkle when that's not working, or Detonator, and we'll show examples of that. And by the way, I left out Code here because Code's very interesting, because you can maybe play Code at 1 copy if you're playing it in Voiceless Voice. Again, just play it at 1 to supplement the deck. But if you're playing it in Detonator, or you're in the Ryzeal deck, don't even play it at all, because there's going to be a lot of cards that lock you. Now let's look at the engines. If we're playing engines, you can use them as full support. Just know that the engines are going to be searching other stuff, and are going to be kind of like trying to break up your deck and stuff like that, right? This is a very good card, very good engine, by the way. I've seen a lot of success with this card right now, especially right now. But just know that you need to be playing the math. That's why Regenesis is so hard to build, deck building wise, and why people are getting far in the deck but are not topping tournaments, because again, their math isn't right, and they're not leaving themselves enough like math to do with what they need to do. So if you're playing an engine, make sure that your math is still there. Let's take a look at some examples of what people are doing. These are some example of master decks. I don't want to put their name and stuff out here because I'm going to be picking it apart, basically. Let's pick this deck apart here. This on right now, when you look at it on the surface, it looks really good. Like, oh, okay, nice and solid. What are they doing here? They're playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 playsets. So they're following the 7 playset rule, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 playsets. So maybe 1 too many playsets. You never want to go more than 7 playsets. I have a video on that, but that's not the worst issue. Okay, so it still looks pretty good. Let's dig further down here. Now they're not playing Regenesis Dragon. They're playing the Regenesis Sage. Remember what I told you about that? There's not going to be enough cards really to go around for you to send with Regenesis Sage. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cards that you could. So if Regenesis Sage is in your hand, it's likely a dead card unless you have one of these. The math isn't there. Remember, it's a 2-card deck, and that works with Regenesis Sage also, because you might end on a monster with 2500 special summon Sage, but the math says you might not have one of these cards in your hand for Sage to work. So Sage shouldn't be in this deck. This should be Dragon instead. What else do we got going on here? All right. We've got a nice big package here, a Volcanic Queen, which is interesting. I would just use Lava Golem, but okay. The Bystial Baldric is here. Remember, I'm not a big fan because I don't think you'd have a card. The math says that you won't have a card to supplement it. Okay. What else can we see here? There was something I did pick out and I forgot what it was. It was something huge too. Regenesis Code. This locks you from the extra deck. So again, if you do your stuff, you'd have to do the Ryzeal stuff first, then you do this. It's just really weird. It can set you up for failure if this is your top deck on the next turn, and then you can't, like, it's just the way this combo works out. It's not good. You won't have your stuff. There's nothing really. I don't know. It could be better. It's a good deck, and I can see why I got the Masters. Let's look at another one here. This was from like a Twitter. Someone had this one. This one looks really cool too. I like how they're playing the Ryzeal here. They're putting it now, they're using it as, again, they're supplementing it. See how the difference, one was using it as a full, like Regenesis was supposed to be the supplement. Here, Ryzeal is just a supplement. We're just playing 3 Ryzeal cards. Oh, I remember the problem. The problem is they're not playing the Ryzeal cards. The crucial cards, they're not playing Cross. Where's Ryzeal Cross? That's the monster negate. You're playing all of these cards, and then you're going to get dual drive. And what's dual drive going to add you? More cards? No, you got to get Cross, so you get your monster negate, and then even the spell and trap. That was the big issue. Anyways, let's go back to this now. Like, that's like playing, like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's like playing tier elements and then not putting Kalos in your deck, or something like the main part, the big meat and potatoes in your deck. Anyways, let's look at this guy's deck. So again, it looked good on paper at first glance, but then you see, oh shoot, he started forgetting cards. This guy now, and by the way, the coffee's in the background because we got to focus on grind, and you grind coffee here. Always remember, this deck needs to grind. So what do we got here? So nice small package. I like that. I do. Here's the problem. He's playing the wrong pot in this deck, because this deck, you have to use it right in the beginning, and what's going to happen is he has a chance of getting his aggregator and his detonator gone. So if you're going to play this pot, aggregator needs to be minimum 2 or 3, and same thing with detonator. He did remember to do that with with Typhon. So that's the problem there. He's playing the 3 super polys, again, with 3 of these and 1 of these that are going to lock you from the extra deck. Don't like it, and I've hammered that. 2 Dragon's Mines. He doesn't have anything really to send this to the graveyard turn 1, which I don't like, which is why I like this, if you're going to do that. So I don't really need to see this. A lot of traps. So he's going to be, again, I think if he's going first, he's going to be bricking more than Mario. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of stuff I don't like. And then again, he is remember to use Chaos Hunter, so I do like that. He's playing one of these. I guess they compete for the normal summon now. So, but if you do special summon, she can be special summoned at least if you have a special summon monster on the field. So just very interesting. Small stuff like that will add up over time. Again, oh, he is playing this card here to mill 5 on the opponent's turn, which is really good, because if you do manage to mill, I'm certainly, if he makes this deck go to turn 4, he'll have a good time. Anyways, let's look at another interesting tech here. I want to focus on this card here. A lot of people don't know what this card is. Gizmek Uka, the festive fox of the I don't know what it's the festive fox of, but it's so festive. Take a look at this. Basically, if your opponent normal or special summons a monster, inflict 300 damage, that's okay. But how about this? If a monster special summoned from the main deck, you special summon this card from your hand, and then what you do is you target a face-up monster your opponent controls, special summon a monster whose attack equals its defense with the same attribute as that monster. Remember, Regenesis all have different attributes, so basically no matter what your deck your opponent's playing, you can match it, and now you got a nice little combo there going. You got a little hand trap here that searches a Regenesis monster. Now, what if they're playing a dark deck? You could put in 1 copy of Fusion Parasite. I didn't find this combo, by the way. This Gizmek Uka, I saw, but I didn't really like the dark and the light options, but someone found in the Discord a really good dark and light option. So you play Fusion Parasite, and then you fuse these 2 cards, because when he's on the field, you basically can fuse. Now you got a monster negate. That's really good with Eyes Restrict. And then for your light target, you go with Iris Soul, Sword Soul. Right now, I am not using Gizmek Uka, only because everybody and their mom is playing Malice, and Malice doesn't have a card that special summons from the deck. But once that falls out of favor, I think I'm going to definitely try Gizmek Uka. Now, we talked about a lot of decks. Let me show you what I'm running. What am I running, right? Jesse, what are you doing? I've been testing probably 10 decks with this. By the way, if you've liked this video, like and subscribe, join the Discord, join the math for more stats. I'll be climbing with this deck. With my decks, I have like 5 versions on Twitch. I play usually every Monday and Wednesday from like 6 to 8, around then. Sometimes maybe I'll do like 7 to 9, somewhere around then. But you can find me Monday and Wednesday on Twitch normally now. Here are my 2 decks. I've made 5 versions of Regenesis that I've been testing and doing all sorts of stuff. This is the competitive deck here. This is the for fun deck. competitive, and this is for fun. I'm still working on this. This is work in progress. So just before people are like, wait, hold on, what are you doing here, Jesse? Wait. We could probably pick this one apart later. I've been working on ratios and math and stuff with this, but this list right here, if you just are coming into the video and you need a list, this is the most solid list I think I can give you, right? We're playing this many traps, which I think is fine, because going first, if you draw these two, you will win. Going second even, I've had these two cards come into effect. Really good. Haveness, if your opponent does anything, you're going to mill 3. If this gets milled, plus any of the Regenesis cards, or even Eldlich, you got yourself a nice combo. By the way, even if Delta gets milled, I'm playing 2 Delta, 1 Eldlich. If the Delta gets milled, you can add it to your hand, because any of the Regenesis cards, when they get special summoned from the graveyard too, you could just add this. So we've got a lot of good mill targets. We're running 3 of these. The 1 Dark Spirit's Mastery to either search Lava Golem or this card, right? This deck is very consistent. I mathed it out very hard. The extra deck, again, we've got the Back to the Hand. I'm not playing, or I've got Aggregator here. Maybe like some of these cards could be a little bit better. I've got a rank 8, a rank 7 for weird scenarios. Lulu Lilith for this guy, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, everything I talked about is here. The 1 Pinpoint Landing. 2, I'm playing 2 of these. 1 of the, like, this deck is just so smooth like butter. Please just copy this deck. I promise you this will get you the master one. I'm confident. It's mathed out. I mathed it out perfectly. It's got the 2 stun cards. I don't like playing stun that much, but I think with Regenesis it works so well. These cards work so well with it that I've grown a little bit to the dark side there. But this deck is so beautiful. Again, I am playing 2 of these and 2 of these, because remember, we need the math to work, baby, and then it works so well with this. Plus, again, since I'm playing this pot, it's less likely that I'll discard both of them. But even if that's the case, even just losing one of them is not that big a problem. This deck is just a chef's kiss. Anyways, what does this Regenesis deck do? This thing basically has the point where you're going to do this. You're going to want to normal summon this Dragon Soldier, and then if they do anything, you get to get this card, which mills 3, and then you can do it again on the opponent's turn by going into Sprite Elf. Basically, it's just a big mill deck. A big mill deck. You have a lot of mill stuff. Of basically a Paleozoic player will be able to analyze this and be like, oh yeah, there's a lot of good stuff going on here. So I'm mathing this out. A lot of cards that will get you extra turns, or that will delay turns. It's just really good deck. Anyways, let's jump into replays. Now, I did a lot of yapping. Let's get to the slapping. All right, what do we got here? All right, so I'm gonna go first with this Regenesis deck, and now, what am I going to do here? Going to do the Nadir Servant. Let's show you how powerful this is. Garura, baby, add me a card now. Come on, baby, give me that birth. Going to do Maximus. Maximus is going to send that. This is what I'm talking about. This is why Nadir Servant is so powerful. I'm going to send a card, win Pegasus as my defense. And then again, like I said, I'm going to send Gangrenol. We're going to do the Archfiend stuff now. Get Regenesis Lord. Send that to the Banished Zone. We're going to get Regenesis Lord here. This gets me a spell and trap. We're going to use the regular Regenesis Reminder. We could just use that to get a card here. We're going to get Sage, because we do have a lot of cards we could send. We've got 2 of these, 3 of these, bada bing, bada boom, while everything comes out. And by the way, we were able to send Apo and Firewall Dragon, so I am almost positive that my Malice card is, my opponent is on Malice. Now, here's the thing. Make sure this card is flipped face up before you really do anything, because unless you really just want to send a card to the graveyard, because what happens is, if it's not face up, you cannot do this second part. Right here, you have to be able to send it to the graveyard, so it needs to be face up, because it can't activate and send itself during the same thing. But we'll just do that now. I might be able to do that. Here you go, setting 2 cards, trying to, you know, maybe bluff me into one of them being the Malice card. So he's going to go into his Dormouse stuff. We're going to max it here. We don't need it, but, you know, we're just going to use this to get rid of an Ash or something. He probably drew that off the top because he didn't use the Regenesis Lord. Anyways, what are we going to go into here? He's going to go, now he's going to start getting his cards. All right. Now, he's got this. That's going to send that. I'm a little worried that these are the traps that's going to protect this, so I don't want to send this back to the hand. That's very important to do. And I could have negated this also with this, but I don't really want to. I'm going to let that go. I'm going to let him set the trap. Now I know for sure that there's a trap, and maybe there's 2. Maybe one of these is a decoy or not. But anyways, I need to know that there is the trap on the field, and which one is the trap. Because remember, I do have Regenesis Dragon. So I can, once he gets both of them off the field, now I can start doing stuff, because now I know which one's the trap, right? So anyways, here he goes. He's going to use SP Little Knight, which is really good, by the way. because that's going to force me to do this, because I don't want this guy to get banished. Mind you, I can't special summon. I could have let that go through and special summon it back with Regenesis Birth. But anyways, I'm just going to see which ones he's going to get rid of here. He's going to get rid of Sage. And remember, I can't set that back up with Birth. But now that he got the Malice cards off the field, I'm going to do this. I'm going to target the one card that I know for sure is Malice Trap, and I'm going to banish that, right? Because these could have been bluffs, these could have been whatever, but let's get that one off the field. So we know for sure that that's a problem card. And now, remember, we have Birth. We're going to now use it, and we're going to get all of our cards back. Look how strong Birth is, baby. Bada bing, bada boom. And now, by the way, I do get to add another Regenesis card. Let's get Code, because we're not going to use the extra deck anyways, because Maximus stops us from doing stuff from the extra deck. That's another card that stops you, by the way. So he wasn't bluffing, though. He did have a second card that was Malice, putting it face down. But now let's use the Omni negate, because we now know that was the second trap. And that's the power of Pine Saw, baby. When you stop them from getting their traps going, and you know, true, I stopped 2 right there, and now he's just going to continue going. But don't forget, we had Gangrel in the graveyard, baby. And what's Gangrel going to do? It's going to special summon that Dogmatika card, and then she was going to search me Fleur de Lis, and Fleur de Lis was going to get me another negate there. So that would have been absolutely devastating. All right, this guy has selected to go second now. So now I'm under the gun. I know that this guy's got some kind of go second deck. My mind immediately goes to Tenpai, and oh, he's gonna Fuwalos. Well, here's really cool thing. I'm gonna just chain Code to Fuwalos. Know that the Regenesis cards are really cute because they don't need to special summon anything from the extra deck or the deck really besides Code. So now he's gonna block or use Ash Blossom to stop me here. That's why I said that pinpoint landing can be really good sometimes if that gets out to chain block that Ash Blossom. But anyways, the pesky Ash Blossom will go off. Lucky for me, I do have the Regenesis card in my hand. I'm going to set this guy out first just so I could negate something, which is really cute. Here's something else that's really cute that you could do, by the way. If you use Regenesis, right? This is something interesting. And then they do something like Ash Blossom, you could combo the Regenesis Sage and send the Regenesis that's still on the field to the graveyard, because that counts as a Regenesis card, to be your Omni negate. So a lot of people don't know that, because that's a way you can still use that. That's a little cute trick. But anyways, I wish he negated something there, or like did like an imperm or something, because I would have been able to show you that cute trick there. But that's, again, advanced tricks. Anyways, we're going to set the Birth card. That's really good. And now we got Warrior on the field, Sage. We got Birth here. Again, too, if you flip this up, you can always send Birth. Anyways, we've got these 2 cards in the graveyard. This is here. He's going to use Maxi, but again, I'm just flipping it face up. I'm not going to do anything with it. He thinks I'm going to special summon all my stuff. No, I just want to face up just in case I want to use that second effect to get the archfiend or something. I don't know. Anyways, we're against, oh, it's the Gem Knights. Oh, man. Anyways, that's an absolutely devastating card, so we're going to stop that, because that card is basically, if you have anything on the field, even a little pebble, a little rock, he's going to be able to just special summon everything he wants in the game, and he's got full combo anyways, because he's going to be able to get this, get that, and I can't really stop that now because I really needed Dragon. I kind of wish I got Dragon off of Code instead of Warrior. I went with Warrior because I thought, again, that he was going to be going into, I was against Tenpai, and I thought Warrior was going to do better versus Tenpai, but it looks like I made a mistake, a thorough mistake. So now Regenesis Warrior is just sitting there. That's my only card. He's getting every card in the book here, and I don't even know what he's doing. Here he goes. I was waiting for him to target a card. That's why I wasn't using any of my cards, because they were like quick effects, I believe, or something like that. Or he did also have an Omni negate, so I'm in the graveyard. So I'm waiting for the right time, or waiting for them to get targeted so they don't like really waste their cards. We're gonna target this guy to go back to the hand because it can make a second attack, and you don't want that to go to the graveyard because it can copy stuff. Anyways, he used his Omni negate. I'm gonna send this guy to the graveyard. He really needs this card to go to the graveyard to get his OTK going, because then this guy's going to attack twice and do something crazy. On top of that, he put this guy in the extra monster zone, so now he can't even link off if he wanted to go. Some people play this weird link card, so we'll stop him from linking stuff too by flipping that extra deck card face down, forcing him to go into the battle phase now. Like I said, if this guy's in the graveyard, one of it was going to be able to copy it to make it attack twice or something. It does also have piercing. We don't want that guy attacking twice no matter what. so you don't need that card to go to the graveyard. So I survive a turn, and now here we go, baby. Here's where the grind comes into effect. Give me that warrior, give me that sage, give me that dragon. You know what I'm saying? We get all our cards back, and he knows that on the rebuttal now, I'm just gonna go in and do the same thing and just rinse and repeat, and he just gives up right there. And on top of that, I still had birth on the field, so I was about to give birth to a wide range of slapping and dapping, and that's just how that goes. You know what I'm saying? Really, really good stuff. All right, now we saw what I could do going second. Now, or going first. What happens if I have to go second here? Oh no, and it's against Malice, and it's going to be able to freely set up because I don't have anything to stop it here. And I'm even, this was when I was on testing Regenesis cycle. I was on my cycle saga here. So I'm even testing this, and this card's not really gonna help me, or let's see, because you're gonna banish a card, and Malice likes to be banished. So let's see how that works out for me. I do have a skill drain Nadir servant in my hand, so this already is looking absolutely devastating. Only a skilled pro would be able to probably win this because, again, he's got full combo. In fact, he's got full movie. That's what I call this. And my hand's not looking really good. It's just looking like an average hand. It would have been kind of good going first because I would have been able to set skill drain. This is absolutely a dominating hand going first, but because I'm going second, I'm between a rock and a hard place here. He's even getting rid of his Fuwalos because he doesn't need it. He's just going to take advantage of me any way he can here. Going to go into Apple here. Link 4. How many negates does it get? 2 negates here. He's going to continue his relentless assault against me. Going to go there, draw a card, getting every card that he wants, setting up anything he wants, he's basically having his way with me, and there's nothing I could do about it. I'm just forced to watch as he sets up his combos, setting up his cards here in the graveyard. And again, I'm looking at Cycle. I'm like, man, I kind of wish I didn't have Cycle because, again, it's a 2-card combo deck. You got to control a monster with 2,500 original attack or defense. The only card I could possibly have right now to go out on the field is Dragon. But Malice has a unique matchup because what's cool is, and I don't think I mentioned this in the video at all, even if your opponent has a card on the field with this, you can special summon it. So that's pretty cute there too. So they do have going second applications. The thing is, once they're set up, do I really need to banishing a spell and trap's not really the strongest one to do. But I am taking note on where their traps are, what traps are where, who's going where, where's Waldo, you know what I'm saying? As he goes into Allied Code Talker, that's going to give him an Omni negate so long as the card's pointing in his direction. And what has he got now? He's got 3 cards in the hand, which could be anything. 2 set cards. We know this is a trap. He's got two monster negates, an Omni negate. I'm looking pretty grim here. He's got his graveyard set up. White Binder is really the thorn in my side when I'm sending cards to the graveyard. This is just gonna, and oh no, I draw Punishment, another trap card. I was kind of trap heavy, like I said. So how am I going to play this going second? Oh, well, let's see. Let's start with Ecclesia. Ecclesia can't special summon itself if there is a monster from the extra deck on the field. He's going to use one of the negates for that, which is actually pretty nice to me because I really don't care because I could just normal summon it too, and it'll have the same effect. Anyway, so I feel like I snuck away with getting rid of one of his negates there. Anyways, and now he's going to use a second negate. He doesn't want me getting my Dogmatika cards, and I'm kind of mad about that. I mean, I do have Punishment here. The only other card I was going to add was Fleur-de-Lis to give me a negate, and I would have loved to have negated the Allied Code Talker there. Anyways, I'm going to use Nadir Servant, and oh, he's going to negate that. That's one of the strongest cards I have in my arsenal, but I had no other plays. I have no other plays, and I got to do what I got to do. And that's it. I've got no other plays. I'm forced to get cupped here, and that's what happens when you go second with Regenesis. But there is an additional card that I got to talk about, baby, and that is, his name is Typhon. Typhon, always, I run Typhon. I run it at 2, I run it at 3, I run Typhon, return a card to the hand. We're going to really want to get this guy back to the hand because we're going to want to do stuff. Anyways, he's going to do some Malice stuff, show me his hate. You're gonna get the White Binder out on the field, remember, and then that's gonna go back. Because he did that there, the White Binder now can't do its effect, and I'm gonna send that right back because I know how detrimental White Binder can be, especially now because I'm gonna have Dogmatika Punishment, and I could probably set Skill Drain. This guy's got just enough attack now to squeak over this guy so I can get rid of Allied Code Talker, and I'm gonna set all 3 of my cards. I'm even gonna set Cycle. Even though I couldn't use Cycle, I'm gonna set it right in the middle, and I set it first. So this way, like, he thinks it's an imperm. So this way, maybe if he wants to destroy a card, he'll destroy this first, and I'll put the real good cards supporting around it. So I'm playing a little bit of a mind game there, trying to elude my opponent. But anyways, I gave Malice another turn, and I didn't get anything set up in the graveyard, so that's really deadly. And now here he goes, setting up the Malice card. Red Ransom's coming back, setting up this, setting up that. Oh, this is not good. He's going to add a spell now from the deck to the hand, and right here, we're going to skill drain him. This superstar Typhon does have a lot of attack, and remember, if he went to something big, he would have stopped them. But now we're going to turn everything off, skill drain. Don't want to see White Binder's effect go off at all, and we definitely don't want Red Ransom to go off. So now he's getting this. I don't know why he's doing this. I have skill drain. Why activate an effect that you don't have to activate? Anyways, he's getting 4 cards now and turning them into something here, turning that into the big access code talker. Now here what's something cute. Access code talker can send itself to the graveyard to dodge skill drain. Very, very good. So that's what's going to do. He's going to do that. He's going to try to do that, but whatever. There is an opportunity, though. Here's what's interesting. During this lull right here, before he does his effect, you have a chance to activate. We're going to do Dogmatika Punishment, and we're going to send a card here. We're going to play. We're going to go. Let's go gambling here. We're going to send Kick Callus to the graveyard. Kick Callus is going to send 5. Oh, man. That's unfortunate, though. I would have loved to see what 5 cards went to the graveyard. But that unfortunately not going to be today. But again, Kick Callus would have been really good there. Again, my graveyard is set up to either pop something, do something, but because I had a nice lock-in, I felt like I could have took a big chance because I needed something to go on here because he's got a lot of stuff going on. Anyways, a nice top deck of Regenesis. We're gonna use that, baby. Gonna get the archfiend out, and remember, my math is good, baby. So I'm gonna show you that dragon, and I'm gonna show you my dragon, the wild dragon. Get this, get this. Now we can't do any searching because skill drain's on the field, but we don't really care. Because remember, if this goes to the graveyard, we'll be able to get them back anyways. And these cards do a lot on their own. We've got this, and now, hey, a Regenesis cycle can come into effect. Look at this. If you control a monster with 2,500 attack or defense, target a card, then banish it. We're gonna see what this mystery card is. Let's banish this. He says no. I don't want you to banish a card. He's going to use his Lancia and prevent me from banishing. Surely that's in his deck for the mirror matchup. He plays crossed out. So Regenesis cycle showing that it's not really that good. Not really going to come in handy. Anyways, we're going to send this to the graveyard immediately on our opponent's turn. Why? Because he wanted to protect that card for some reason, and I want it out of the field now. And it could be another Malice trap or something, you know, and I don't know. It could be something. So let's get rid of it right now. He's going to call by the grave. He wants to protect this card like it's gold. So he's going to call by the grave my dragon, and I'm pretty mad about that because his mystery card gets to stay. And it just ends. He just ends his turn. Like, what was that mystery card, sir? That you needed to protect this so much. I'm very, very mad about that. Anyways, we've got enough. We get a beautiful top deck here. I guess only he will go to the grave with that card. He'll be able to tell me the mystery later. I'll never know what that mystery card was. Whatever it was, he wanted to protect it so bad. He wanted to protect it so bad he was willing to lose over it. But I think it was probably one of the Malice traps, and he wanted to protect it so much. Anyways, easy clap. Actually just got easy clapped. I just clapped them so easily. I felt like I was at a circus just clapping because the performer just did their trick. You played the most meta deck and you still lost. Thank you for getting set up and then still losing. All right, the Luna is going first. And oh, here we go. Now I can show you what Lava Golem does, baby. And oh, he's got Kashtira Unicorn. What is this, Kashtira? He's going to get his birth. I have there can only be one. Lava Golem here. He's going to set up the Pressure Planet. Pressure Planet's going to add Fenrir. And that's pretty cool, too. So this is what I'm talking about here. I'm actually kind of getting scared. He's getting full Kashtira set up here. Now that's going to add another unicorn. But now that he added that new unicorn, that made me think of something. That we're in a mirror matchup, baby. Yes, that's right. We're in a mirror matchup. Now, here's what's interesting. I'm noticing something here. He sets the Sage, and I'm thinking maybe he might not have a Regenesis card in his hand. I think this is dead in the water because if he had any Regenesis card, it would have came out right there. So I think that's kind of like a bluff right now on the field. So that's interesting to me. But then he got Birth. Remember, you can always send Birth with Sage. So that's actually pretty annoying to me. I'm going to get rid of those 2 cards. I'm going to get rid of both the Kashtira cards because you'll see why in a second. Anyways, let's do something here. He's going to send a Regenesis card to the graveyard. Do this to send me face down. I'm just going to send this to the graveyard. Get my Lava Golem back, baby. Please, I want to get this Lava Golem back. Now, and I will get it back. So boop, bada beep, bada boop. That's nice in the mirror matchup. Now Regenesis, I get to add whatever card I want. He's gonna sacrifice his own birth there. Very interesting. I only did that because I knew I had code too to follow up. So anyways, I will use code now. Code to get the archfiend. Archfiend's gonna come up here and it's gonna get me Regenesis Lord. Nice, thank you. Now I'm gonna get rid of the Regenesis Lord and I'm gonna get my own guy. I'm gonna get Cycle. Oh, Jesse, what are you doing getting Cycle? How about that for a twist? I remember how I said how trash Cycle was, and I've been trashing Cycle the whole time. Well, I could have gotten Birth, and it could have been maybe did some good stuff here. But I want Cycle because I want to banish this card, and I want to banish this because he got rid of this Birth. Usually they only play him at 1. And he's playing a lot of stuff. I don't think he's got another copy of this. So if it's gone, it's really going to be gone. He doesn't have, again, with his cards there, I get to banish 2 cards. Need to, for sure, banish this Birth. Because if I banish this Birth, he was just going to bring his Kashtira stuff back. We all know what was going to happen with that. Anyways, I will set there can only be 1. Doesn't really do much. I did hit him in the face for 5,000. That's a big, meaty punch in the face. He is going to get a lot of Regenesis cards. Oh, no, he won't. He just gets that 1 card back. All right, so he gets that. Unicorn's going to come up. He's going to show me Lava Golem. He gets this guy back. Archfiend's going to now set him up. Again, he's going to get his own Regenesis Lord now. Now he's going to copy me because I did the cool stuff first. And he's going to set a spell and trap. He plays a second copy of Birth. Oh no, that's absolutely detrimental to me. He actually gets more attack because of the Pressure Planet Wraiths off. So that's why I said this could actually be a really good card, especially in the mirror. He's going to take a little peek at my extra deck, decide he doesn't like my Entis that I play. But good thing I did get my Lava Golem. Remember, I did get that card back. So here's what's interesting. We're going to use code to special summon the Archfiend that's in our graveyard right here. This will let us draw a Regenesis card. We want Dragon because, again, he's got that deadly card. We need to get rid of that. That for sure, he's going to be able to do that. He's going to get rid of my Lulu Lilith now. And yes, I get the Dragon now. And here he goes. He will be able to do that. Remember, this is for cost. He's going to use that. Set that face down. Since he didn't, like, send it or anything crazy, I'm fine with this. I'm going to do this for something else. I'm going to now send the Regenesis to the graveyard to special summon Warrior. And again, I'm going to get rid of that card and this, and then do the same little combo I did before. Now, here's what's really interesting. I'm going to get rid of this card. I have my normal summon. You might be like, Jesse, what are you doing? I'm going to add Archfiend to the hand. Now, here's the problem. Archfiend needs another card to be revealed in your hand to special summon itself. So, I'm almost so close to be able to punch for game, but I'm not there yet. And that's a big blunder on my part. Psych! No, it's not. We're going to use Regenesis Cycle. Again, has a hidden effect where if this card's in your graveyard, except the turn it was sent there, banish it, you special summon a monster with 25 attack or defense. So even though a lot of people don't play Cycle at all, playing Cycle at 1 does have its benefits, because now I can special summon this. And what I'm going to do is send that to the graveyard, add this guy to the hand. I've got 5,000, and that's enough to punch you in the face for victory. Don't need to use 1 for 1 in the mirror matchup, by the way. I just said it just so maybe he would use his dragon or something to get rid of it. But there you go, and look at that. So I was making fun of Regenesis Cycle this whole time, and you could see there how it was absolutely clutch. So even these underrated cards in Regenesis might have a place. Play it at 1 or 0. And there was a lot of other cards too that have yet that I've got stuff where they just win me the game. But again, Pinpoint Landing really good, Dragon's Mind really good. I talked about all the other techs and stuff. There's a lot of cool stuff. I wish I could shown you like that Tier Mill 5 where he called by it. That's what happens. It's like Judge Judy. Real cases, real stuff. These are real games. So that's why sometimes you have to see how stuff plays out. Anyways, if you need a Regenesis deck to copy, that's the one. You could look at it there again. It's absolutely fantastic. Regenesis is an absolutely disgusting deck. But again, you need the math. And the math will never fail you. So that's the thing. The math never lies. So I hope you guys like this video. Leave a like and subscribe if you made it to the end. If you made it to the end, say this phrase. Be like, say something cryptic, like the dragon rules the earth or something like that. That's how I know you made it to the end of the video, because this is a long video And this deck deserves a long video because, again, very hard to deck build, very hard to even play. As you can see, there's a lot of advanced stuff, and you need an expert deck list. So say something like crazy if you made it to the end of here, like the dragon mothers with the pillow or something, or like the dragon. Say the dragon does something, and that's how I know you went to the video. I'll make sure to comment, and you'll leave everyone else confused. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.